Go ahead.
Okay. What is advocacy? We're looking for the definition of advocacy. In the dictionary, it says the act of pleading for or supporting or recommending active espousal and advocacy organization. Let's see. A group of people who work together to support an issue or protect or defend. In an advocacy toolbox, or a lot of different ways that people display their advocacy can be through research, analysis, reports, media, and work. Um, uh, let's see, active websites, network, and making alliances with different networks. Um, in the public campaign area, there can be lobbies, public meetings, events, different exhibitions to promote what that particular party is advocating. Advocacy groups, also known as pressure groups, lobby groups, campaign, there's lots of different groups, use various forms of advocacy in order to influence public opinion or policy. They have played and continue to play an important part in the development of a political social systems. Um, different professional groups. Um, a professional group is defined as a body of persons engaged in the same profession, formed usually to control entry into a profession, maintain standards, represent the profession, and in discussion with other bodies. Um, a role in it, there's somewhat different and also similar roles in both professional and advocacy groups. A role in an advocacy group can change whether you are looking at the state or the federal organization within that advocacy group. The membership also varies for each different type of organization. An advocacy group, it is there to either to stop or prevent or begin a change. Advocacy group membership, groups vary considerably in size, influence, and motive. Some have wide-ranging long-term social purposes, while others are focused on and are a response to an immediate issue or concern. It just depends on what type of advocacy group it is. Advocacy organizations are to normally reach out to others, where professional groups look more towards improving their own selves or their own group. Um, and then some of the advocacy groups that Heidi and I came up with for for the healthcare issue is AARP is a huge one, American Cancer Society, March of Dimes, American Heart Association. The majority of these are a type of volunteer group where there's also professional membership, sometimes part of these advocacy groups. Different professional groups we found were American Medical Association, American Occupational Therapy Association, Healthcare Administration Management, American Public Health Administration. Um, let's see. Just talking about some of the specifics of different advocacy groups. March of Dimes is a large one, and the advocacy, it says, is vital to the March of Dimes to advance the mission through their public policies, programs, and funding. Um, there's mainly two different areas of advocacy within the March of Dimes, and many of the different advocacy groups. One area is the federal, where the March of Dimes lobbies both Congress and administration and maintains strong relationships with policymakers across political and a wide range of maternal child issues. On the state level, you can find out that the March of Dimes works to influence both legislative and regulatory activities in each state through their own chapters and volunteers and the staff that serve as powerful voices for the needs of pregnant women, infants, children, and families. Oops. Okay, another one was the American Heart Association. That also had the difference with the federal and state. Let's see, AHA has a professional membership along with being a member in one of the many connecting communities associated with that. Just talking about eligibility and in the membership in different, particularly in the American Medical Association, it depends, the membership depends on where you're coming from, whether you're an active physician at the time, having a practice, if you're retired, or if you're a medical student. And along with a lot of these advocacy and professional groups, it kind of depends on what type of membership and where you're coming from, depending, that changes your eligibility. But for a lot of them, like for AARP, you had to be over 50, but a lot of the advocacy groups, there's not as much limitation on eligibility and stuff, where in more of the professional groups it depended on what your profession was, where you were at, whether you were in school or something like that. Do you have any questions with that at this time, or do you want to go on with Heidi's segment?
No questions at this time. Go ahead, Heidi.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to just cover really quickly the services and benefits provided to the members. You can click to the next screen. The advocacy organizations that we looked up, like AARP, provide benefits and discounts to its members. It's also for people that are older. And there is a membership fee that they have to pay to join. They get discounts. They have advocacy for employment security, health care, and retirement planning. The March of Dimes has information for patients related to premature birth, birth defects, and baby health. They also have medical resources, professional education, and they also offer awards and scholarships and grants. The American Heart Association works to prevent heart disease and strokes by providing public health education, science-based treatment guidelines for healthcare professionals. They educate lawmakers and policymakers as they advocate for change. And with the professional organizations, they each offer publications that you can receive that are usually peer-reviewed. A lot of them also have conferences and networking. They offer continuing education. They have resources for students and educators, scholarships, and many of them also have advocacy for the professionals. And this advocacy is specific to the healthcare career, like public health advocates would work to further the public health career, etc. Next slide. So some other things that I wanted to just point out about healthcare advocacy groups and professional organizations is that healthcare advocacy groups can be specific to a certain disease or chronic condition like diabetes or even high blood pressure, or they can focus on promoting clinical research and protecting the rights of human subjects. And like Marjorie said, that they also work at local, state, and national levels. Professional organizations are established for every health-related career, and many times they also have advocacy for the profession. An interesting website that I found was the National Health Council. It's an organization that brings together advocacy organizations, for-profit organizations, not-for-profit, and professional organizations to provide a central place for patients to obtain links to groups that are relevant to their specific condition or needs. And I felt like that was really a helpful thing, especially when you're looking for information about a disease or chronic condition that you might have.
Next slide.
Yeah, thanks. Lastly, as I researched this, the question when and how to join each of these types of organizations, the thing that kept recurring to me was to join now as a student. And the reason is that it can add value and interest to your resume. It can supplement your educational experience. Mostly, you can receive the peer-reviewed publications from professional organizations, and that can help with your studies and keep you up to date. It can also help you to network and land a job after graduation, and many of the organizations have discounted rates for student membership. And through advocacy organizations and professional organizations, you can join through applications online. Some will require a membership fee, and some are joined through volunteering. And those opportunities can also be found on the websites. And that is all.
All right, great work, both you guys. That was, or ladies, sorry. That was really good. You guys covered the topic well, and did a great job of explaining advocacy organizations and professional groups. As far as professional groups go, I'm a member of a professional group in healthcare administration. It's called ACHE. Excuse me, which stands for the American College of Healthcare Executives. Just an FYI for anybody that's watching this, you need to know that for the quiz that's due Saturday, American College of Healthcare Executives. But it is a very beneficial thing to be a part of. I was a member of it as a student. I was able to get, as we mentioned, as Heidi mentioned just a minute ago, about the different publications and the different career services. There's so many things that they offer for students and people that are new in the profession. That is, it is very beneficial. So yeah, thank you both for the presentation. I just have a question for each of you. It's the same question I ask everybody. So I'll start with Marjorie, and then Heidi just answer the same question after. But what was one thing that surprised you the most or interested you the most as you were studying healthcare advocacy organizations and professional groups?
Surprised me. I don't know if there's something that surprised me so much as I just was personally interested in, like what Heidi was mentioning at the end, just I hadn't even thought about joining a group at this time, but I just, as I learned about it more, just seeing the need of it for my own self and thinking about my own desires as time goes on. Like for myself, I'm a single mom of 5 kids, and so right now I'm basically staying home with them and doing online classes. But like if I actually did join a group, even though I'm not able to work, I'm planning on starting working part-time, hopefully just in a clerical setting, because I've already done the CNA clinical thing for a while. But if I did join a group in time to come, like in the next couple of years when I actually graduated, then I would already have a network of people that I had been communicating with as a student, which would help me, because right now I'm not able to work full-time and do classes and things like that. And so if I was actually part of a group, it wouldn't take up as much time as working would, but it'd also accomplish the idea of networking and things like that. And so if I became part of a more professional group, in my desire of working in like I really want to work kind of in the administrative Alzheimer's unit, dementia, I'm really interested into that. And so if I could find a type of group that would help me network and meet those type of people. So that kind of what was the main thing that really was poignant to me, is just how beneficial joining a group now could be to help me in a couple of years when I'm actually ready to work full time and get out there and things like that. So
great, thank you.
Yeah.
Heidi, same question.
For me, I think it was just the number of advocacy groups out there. I just felt like that was pretty remarkable, that for any cause you want to join, especially in the healthcare industry, there's someone there that you can join and add your voice, and make a difference. So, and speaking in a professional mindset, like that could also be really beneficial to me to just find an advocacy organization that I want to join and help, and gain experience. Being a mother of 6, I don't really have a lot of time to go out and get employment where I could have a better looking resume. But
Yeah.
volunteering with one of these organizations would be something I would be feasible for me to do in my position and would be beneficial for my career.
Great, thank you both. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the broadcast now, but I do have some off-air questions, so just a sec.